Hello, this is Greg Jolin. I'm doing my first 8-4 draft for draftmagic.com. This is actually also my first draft with Besieged, so this should be interesting. In this pack, we have a Fangrim Marauder, which is insane. I've played against this guy in Sealed, and I've dealt over 60 damage in a game and lost, playing for top 8 of a PTQ, so that was pleasant. The other options here are Spread the Sickness, uh, Phyrexian Juggernaut is good, Anatomus is good, and then we have two Zeniths as rares. I was hoping to open a pack with just one good card for my first draft to make it easy. Uh, White Sun Zenith, very good in draft. Green Sun Zenith is solid. I don't think it's something you typically want to first pick in draft. It's more of just a card to take for constructed. Uh, I've heard a lot of talk about Infect being much better here, so I'm going to go with Spread the Sickness for this first pick. I actually was not really a fan of Infect in Triple Scars, even if you had the so-called Insane deck. I found you lost fairly often. However, this pack does not have much too exciting for an Infect deck. A 5 mana 3/3 is fine, but not all that good. 3 mana 2/1 is even worse. Solid pump spell. The best card in a vacuum in this pack is the Vivisection, and just because I took a Spread the Sickness first does mean I'm poisoned. I could easily just end up a blue-black control deck. So I think the best thing to do typically is just take the best card early in a draft, so I'm going to go with the Vivisection here. This card's terrible. Quicksilver Geyser, it can be a beating or it can do nothing. Not really what I usually want to take here. Don't know what this guy does. Not too exciting. Slasher is good. I know all the things about Ichor Wellspring's synergy. I've also had this guy with the rare spine, and that's pretty insane, but it's looking like the best card in this pack is Serum Raker, and when we're looking to be potentially blue anyway for the Vivisection, that's going to be the pick here. And this pack has a lot of the same cards, another Slasher, another Geyser. I've heard very good things about Morbid Plunder. And Nested Ghoul, I've seen this guy in action in. I mean, he's usually going to be a 2-for-1. He trades with something and you get a 2/2 out of it. It's always solid. I'm a fan of taking Morbid Plunder early, I think, because then we can start taking picks around it, anything that comes into play effects. And I guess just every pack is going to have a Rusted Slasher. This is a very late Fangrim Marauder for how good it's supposed to be. Gruesome Encore, not very good in draft. Drawstripper's a solid man, which would be the either him or Rusted Slasher is the best if we stick blue-black, but like I said, early on in drafts I like to take just the best possible cards, because you don't know what colors you're going to get past, and especially in a set like this, you can usually end up with enough playable artifacts to fill yourself out if you end up changing colors midstream. So I'm just going to take with the best card here, which is the Marauder. And this pack is just not very good. And if we're going into green, I'm pretty sure the best part in the pack is just the 7 mana 8/8. We could end up black-green non-infect. It can be done. You can just have the dinosaurs with black removal, or we could be blue-green, or even still blue-black. Like I said, it's still early in the draft, but it looks like green is what we're getting past early on here. And there's something to be said for Hexblade Golem here, because we could end up playing it no matter what, but like I keep saying early on in the draft, I prefer to go for power level and then see what happens. So I'm taking an 8/8. And this pack is pretty blank. The only thing here, or possibly going to play, is a Rusted Slasher. That will probably end up playing it no matter what. Nothing else playable in blue, black, or green, so the Slasher is the pick here. Yeah, again, nothing too interesting in this pack. Couple crappy infect guys. Spire Serpent could end up making the deck, I guess. I've sided it in on occasion. So we'll go with that one. More mediocrity. Didn't get much out of this Besieged pack, so let's hope the Scars pack can do better. I guess we just go with another Spire Serpent. Woo. This deck isn't even looking like it has any chance of being metal crafted. Well, here's a nice cheap artifact guy. Can play it no matter what, and he's gonna be good if we do stick to blue. Nothing here except some bad cards. This one's foil. Always the right choice. In this deck, we're probably going to end up being more controlling, a slower deck, so Cargo Carapace is not really the type of card we're looking for, and who knows, maybe a Natural Predation might end up being okay. Doesn't matter. Man, every pack is an Ardent Recruit. Someone could have taken all those and had an amazing deck full of 1-mana 1/1s. I don't really know. I mean, I'm saying that sarcastically, but I don't really know how well a cheap battle cry strategy would work in draft. My guess is that a lot of things would have to go right for it to work out, and you'd probably need the Signal Pest and lots of those 1/1s and the 3/1 for 2 and whatnot, but then you just flat out lose to any decent blockers. Like, what does that deck do up against a Plated Sea Strider? That's just gotta be miserable. Okay, here. The best cards in the pack are both red, which is lovely. There's a Shatter and a Turn to Slag. And I mean, it's not too late to switch. It's getting to the point where it's kind of too late, but I mean, what is my best pick if I want to stay in the 3 colors I'm kind of in? A Tel'Jallad Fallen when we're not looking to be poison. Same thing, Playsinger. A Nurok Replica. Now there's a great first pick. And, you know, I like Turn to Slag a little better than Shatter, but if we think we might not end up playing red, Shatter is at least splashable, and Turn to Slag is very much not splashable. And, well, we need to start getting some cheaper guys. Wall of Tango Court is always good, but there's also Manamir and Skyhill School. Now, Skyhill Schools have been known to go late in Triple Scars draft, and like I said, this is my first one in Besiege. I honestly don't know if they come back around late, but I doubt there's any chance of this tabling. We'd have to find 8 cards better than it, and I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, maybe 6, but no, there's no chance of this Skyhill School tabling from this pack. So I'm going to take it and have apparently a very slow deck. The other pack that isn't great for us, but if we have a very slow deck, we need cheap blockers, and Necropede is quite good at blocking cheaply. It's no Perilous Mirror, but it still does its job pretty well. And speaking of Perilous Mirror, here is one, and nothing else exciting in this pack for us. Not really a fan of Lumingory Drake, it's just a 2/2 flyer in this deck. I mean, look at these cards. Not going to be Metalcraft. It's just not happening. And the other options, Painsmith, Bleak Coven Vampires, Mirror Galvanizer, pretty mediocre. So, cheap blocker. And this deck is really not looking like it's going to pan out. The best card in this pack is by far Glimmerpoint Stag, and the second best card is Origin Spellbomb, neither of which looks like it has a place in this deck. So, our options here is, it's looking like blue is probably one of our colors, and Plated Sea Strider sure does a great job of blocking, but what we're seeing in this pack is I'm not getting past any green. I'm not even getting past black. So the question is, what do I think I'm going to get in pack 3? And in pack 3, I think I'm most likely to get past more green, more dinosaurs, your beasts, your Frangan Marauders, and what have you. So I might end up blue-green splashing one of my 2 removal spells, so I'm just going to take the okay guy. Probably doesn't end up making the main deck. And, well, and now, of course, this pack has cards I want. Instill Infection solid, but at this point I don't think I'm black. Take a Worm is solid, but again, I'm not lacking for 5-minute plus guys. And so the choice here is between Silver Mirror and Horizon Spellbomb. This deck needs Mirror badly, but I'm probably splashing blue-green, splashing either Spread or Shatter, or both. So Horizon Spellbomb is great there too, but this deck is just, I think, going to be too slow without any Mirror. I've heard people talking about how they think Mirror are less good now, but I'm sure you still want at least one or two if you can get it. Best card in this pack is a Fume Spitter, but I've already decided that I'm probably not black. But again, that's just probably, and maybe in the last pack I open a Carnifex Demon, and if I do, I'm definitely black. And here's an Alpha Tier next. So, well, we still have options open, which is not really optimal going to the last pack. Going to the last pack, I prefer to have something more solidly decided. But it means if we open a Bomb Rare, I can probably take it, which is something people have talked about in this format. Crappy guy. Probably not playing him. Hate draft. Woo. Screeching Silcaw, I guess, still blocks Plate Stingers out of the sideboard. And a bunch more unplayables. So this deck definitely needs a lot of help going to the last pack. I don't really have much going on here. I have a few big green guys, and I have a Sky Eel School and some decent defenders to start the game, but I'm only going to have, whether I splash black or red, I'm only going to have one removal spell, and it's on the splash, so it can't really be countered on, whichever one it ends up being. It's probably going to be black. Spread the Sickness is just plain better than Shatter, but I'm getting to the time where I can hide the Morbid Plunder. If I don't open Carnifex Demon or Skin Render, I'm pretty much guaranteed not to be black here. And I'm